Oh, Jake's here. Wait, why does this seem so familiar? Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jake. This channel is called Jake of All Trades, and I'm going to be doing Monochrome by Babymetal today. And Chris Lipe did this video. You know, I'm an avid follower of his channel, and I try to learn as much as I can from his videos because I think he's just a brilliant vocal coach. So he did a reaction to the first take piano version of this song, and I'm like, I didn't want to spoil myself, and I know this was a recommended, at least someone recommended it, so I wanted to make sure I did a reaction for it. And you know me, I like my compare and contrast. So I'm going to be doing 3 different versions. I'm going to do the official lyric video to get the studio version sense of the song. I'm going to do that piano version from the first take that Chris has done an analysis for, and I can't wait to check out. But then also one of the commenters said that I should check out one of the live versions, specifically live at the PIA Arena 2023. So this is going to be pretty fun because you get a studio version, you get a piano version, and a live version. So it's going to be cool to break down the differences of this. I'm really excited. So before I do so, there are 3 votes on this particular song. I want to give a shout out to ChronoSwitch 930, Icipher 352. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry if I mispronounced that. And then also Raw2287. So thank you guys for suggesting this video. I'm looking forward to it. And without further ado, let's get started with the studio version. All right, here we go. Monochrome, Babymetal. I already kind of gave myself a jump scare on this one because it started right away. I'm like, oh crap, pause. Here we go. The depth of that guitar. Ooh. That solemn lead over that heavy, deep guitar. Oh. I like that. That's beautiful. The brutality of the instrumentals and the beauty of the singing. see what they were saying? This is like a lighter song in the middle. I love that. Guitar. Oh, that was beautiful. All right, had a little audio issue on the last one, but hopefully the computer holds up in this one. Now we're gonna do the piano version of Monochrome. Here we go. That is definitely a different feel. That's gorgeous.
I don't know what say, I don't know what say.
Voice. It's cool to hear this too. That is just beautiful. So it's just Sue and Moa? God. I almost feel like they're trying to hold back tears as well. I don't know. I'm trying to hold some back right now. Oh. Okay, that's unexpected. You can hear the proximity change to the mic. Ooh, just like that little break into her head voice there. She's really close to that mic and that. Seeing the lyrics on screen too is like, oh. You can really hear that build. Reverb on there too is really pretty. Are they singing the harmony, the people in the white? Is that the Avengers? That was beautiful. All right, last but not least, live version. So we went from like kind of a heavier track to beautiful, solemn track, probably back to some real high energy. Here we go. If I'm not mistaken, the studio version just went straight into it. This is a bit more of a build-up. That explains the longer runtime on this song, too. You actually get to see the choreography here, too. Ooh. That stage is awesome. Is that an elevated stage? It is. They were really band limited there. That's cool. You can hear the rhythm here, the lead here. Guitars, that is. Hearing the crowd involved in that too is, doing their own air drums. That's awesome. Oh, and then they're up on black and white on the screens. That's good artistic choice there. I love the crowd involvement.
Take your phone out!
Oh, that's pretty.
Turn on your light!
That is pretty.
Wow, that's amazing! Can you see?
I love that crowd interaction. That's That's pretty. That's really beautiful. That's not something I was expecting, the humming. God, her voice is pretty. That was really good. Holy cow. All right, so I'm going to be working through the compare and contrast section by section, doing each of the three versions and just working my way through here. And I took some notes and I had to listen to it again, section by section. Like, okay, listen to the intro on the studio version, then listen to the intro on the live version, then listen to the intro on the piano version, etc., etc. And the studio version, heavy from the get-go. It kind of scared myself because when I was trying to set it up and get ready, like, it just comes in right away. So just like, oh, wasn't ready for that. But awesome heaviness. I love the deep tuned guitar and everything. The live version, in contrast, they still do that heavy intro, but like leading up to it, they take the ambiance and the lead of what they have in the studio version and use that as a build up to the heavy part. I thought that was pretty cool. It's a nice way to build into the song, especially live, like getting the crowd into it and like setting their expectations and setting the mood. In the piano version, there's a different heaviness to it. So the live and the studio versions both have the deep tuned guitar, pounding bass, pounding drum heaviness. And then also kind of like the darker ambiance at the beginning anyway, at least before they get into like the main chorus riff. But in the piano version, the heaviness comes from the emotion of like the very, ironically, high piano keys. It's such a contrast. Live studio, deep, bassy guitar, bass, drums, and it just creates like a big weight to the song. The high piano keys in the piano version create an emotional heaviness at the very beginning of the song. And I think that is very, very creative in making that choice, but having still a weighty effect on the song. And I've loved how they arranged that. Then getting into the verse, you had everything in the studio and the live versions fitting within the key of the song, but within the piano version, you had chords that were chromatic, irregular chords that didn't quite fit in the normal pattern of the key, which I thought was a really, really cool way to accentuate certain parts of the song. And one of the similarities actually between the studio and live version is they had hyper band limited vocals on Moa and Momo. It sounded almost exactly the same between the studio and the live version when there's like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I thought that was pretty interesting that they had that effect in both settings. And in the piano version, they didn't do the band limiting on Moa's vocals. Though one of the other things too, and I think this might just say a little bit to their history here, Momo wasn't present in the piano version. This might have been before she was brought on in as an official member. Maybe she was there as like one of the Avengers with the 3 people in the white clothing, maybe. I couldn't see their faces, so I have no idea. Please let me know. One of the things, just visually speaking, the studio version is a visualizer. Like black and white throughout the whole thing, lots of different artistic concepts being blended together throughout the whole thing. It was really cool, but you don't get to see the choreography that's iconic to Babymetal. In the live version, you get to see all the choreography between Su-Metal, Momo-Metal, and Moa-Metal. They do some really cool choreography, which I'm not an expert on, so you're not going to get much of a breakdown on that. Just like, ooh, that was pretty cool. Piano version is just Su-Metal and Moa-Metal, and the choreography is taken out, and it's just passionate singing, which, just moved me emotionally just hearing that version. Transitioning into the chorus, the studio version, kind of a heavy transition. You've got a pretty strong harmony on Su-Metal's vocals. And then in the live version, you also got that same heaviness, but the harmony that's following Su-Metal's vocals is less prominent. I don't know if it's like done as a backing track or if like Moa and Momo-Metal are singing the harmony there. Kind of hard to tell. But then in the piano, it's all Su-Metal. One of the things too is that in the piano version, the way Su-Metal adds the passion and emotional weight by breaking up that series of notes, by pausing, coming up out of fry, like, obviously she sounds way better than I do. Just had this strain of giving whatever you've got left to the phrasing. And it had like a sense of like tired, but still trying to give whatever you got. It was gorgeous. Very, very beautiful artistic choice there. In the chorus, all the instruments were really well balanced with each other. I thought the mixing was fantastic. But then in the live version, one of the things that stood out to me during the first chorus anyway, is how weighty the bass and the heavy guitars felt. They just felt like they had an extra oomph to it. And I love that a lot. It felt really good to just kind of, like when you get that really thick, bassy, deep tuned guitar feel, and it just like rattles your chest, you're just like, yes. There's just like a powerful weight to it that I absolutely love, and I think that was extra pronounced in the live version. In the piano version, some of the contrasts here, the is just Moa singing kind of like the octave down, whereas like in the studio and live versions, you've got octave down, octave up going together, and the piano version is much more somber. Whereas the in the live and studio versions feels more like an anthem, like a call to have the listener and the audience join in. And they do that later on in the live version, which I'll get to, but there's just a different tone to that part. And then transitioning into the second verse, the pause for the drum fill in there was like a nice way of like breaking up the monotony. I don't want to say monotony, that's not a fair thing to say, but like sometimes when you hear the same thing, you can start to zone out a little bit. You can kind of start thinking, oh, I've heard this already. With the drum fill in there, it just like breaks it up and re-grabs your attention. And I like what they do in the live version, where they all do like their air drums during that part too. I thought that was like a neat little touch to it. The piano version, the thing that obviously like piano, you don't have the that same sort of thing going on, but the introduction of the people in the white clothing, which I believe are the Avengers, please correct me if I'm wrong on that, was kind of like a fun little tease there too. And then like, you know, them starting to like hold hands, just like a show of unity. It was just really cool. I love the messaging in the song. It is so inspiring. It is tear-jerking, and I just love it. It is a gorgeous, inspirational, somber piece. I love it. I love it a lot. Then second verse obviously has a different flavor than the first verse. It's a little bit heavier. There's a faster pace to it. Even though the BPM doesn't pick up, you've got the guitar and the drums keeping more of a pacing to it. And that's held up in the piano version by having like the light staccato piano chords, which I think was pretty neat too. It's like they can still keep that faster paced flavor in that second verse without all the guitar and drums and stuff, which that was good. That was really, really well done. Another thing about the second verse is that you got that like lead guitar part that comes in, and the lead guitar in the studio version is more band limited. It sits a little lower in the mix, but live, because like you have the guitars like isolated out, far panned left and right, the lead guitar is like much more isolated in the left channel in my headphones, so I can hear it a lot more clearly. I also think they raised the volume on it a bit as well, so that was really neat, being able to kind of catch that. I like that choice a lot better than how they did it in the studio. But anyway, I've been told Babymetal is more about the live than it is about the studio. The studio is just to kind of get you to the live show to experience like what they're really all about. And transitioning to the second chorus, one of the things that really stood out during that, it's just a small section. It's very similar to the first transition to the first chorus, but Metal in the studio version has an audible pause before she like goes on her descending run. But then in the live and piano versions, she doesn't pause, but she like her voice breaks. It's just like bad rendition here was like the like that in the studio version, but in the live and piano versions, it's more of a like that break into her head voice and then back out of it. Again, adds to the emotional weight of the song, and it is one of those like heart-stopping moments to hear that. It is just a beautiful, beautiful artistic choice that she puts in to that. And it's like, man, talk about keeping the studio version as a teaser to pull you into the full, true live experience. That is like a highlight of that. Then in the second chorus, I can hear Metal's emotion intensifying in her vocals. You can see it in her face in the live version as well as in the piano version. Like, she's just adding more passion. The buildup of emotion is ascending throughout the song, and it's noticeable. And you can even notice it a bit too with her proximity to the mic too. Like when she gets more intense, she's like closer, and it's like the sound is more full. Then getting into the bridge, this is probably where there's like some of the most difference. In this studio version, they go like right into the bridge lyrics, but live they have a delay. Like they let the instrumentals play out a bit and they get the crowd involved. The way they interact with the crowd, the speech that Metal gives, the interaction, the way that she pulls them to like all turn on their phone lights, and the effect that has having this like coliseum all having their light on, and then her connecting that to the greater theme of like there being a lot of darkness and everyone coming together to spread their light. It's tear-jerking. I love it. I absolutely love it. Then too, she also does a bit of humming too. So she's like, and then the crowd responds. I love that interaction. That interaction where, they're communicating with the crowd and they're all just like one unit, and this call and response, just in the piano version during her singing of the bridge, she has this really amazing build-up into the final chorus, like the way she's just like the crescendo, just like like, again, my renditions of it are terrible, but she does it so well. Like every bit is just filled with passion, and I cannot say, like, beautiful doesn't even begin to describe it. Then going into the final chorus and the ending of the song, you kind of got the transition of the guitar being held out and the piano kind of holding the chord as well. And then you've got like these punctuated like drum fills and stuff. You got a really strong final chorus. Metal's facial expressions are just showing you how into it, how emotionally connected she is to what she's singing. And then another thing too, like at the very end, the way it ends in the studio version, you got all this black and white visually, and then it turns into just some radiant colors at the end in the visualizer, which, oh God, again, that fits very well with that theme of what they did during the live show, where they had everyone shining their phone lights and connecting it to the larger theme of like shining your light together in the darkness. And in the piano version, it's a very somber end. The Avengers, I'm going to assume those are the Avengers. The way they finish it out with the is like a different way to end it than I was expecting, because you had Moa doing that part the entire time, and then like the ending is the Avengers doing it, which is like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. That was really, really cool. But again, it's a much more calm, somber ending to the song. It took me a while to like truly get as much as I could out of this song, and I'm sure there's a lot that I missed. So if you guys took something else from this, drop it in the comment. Like, let me know what you thought about the song. If you have any suggestions also for other Babymetal songs I should check out, drop them in the comment. I'll give you a shout out whenever I do any of those reactions and analyses. If you haven't already and you feel so inclined to, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications. I also want to thank Jonas S. for supporting me on Patreon. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for all your support over all this time. I know that was a long-winded post-reaction analysis, but hopefully you got something out of it. I appreciate you if you stuck around this long. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all your support and your attention and everything you do to interact with my channel. I appreciate it a lot. That's all for this video. Enjoy the rest of your day. God bless you. And rock on.